Hello, everyone, and welcome to what will be a very brief company broadcast. I'm going to tell a couple stories, share some exciting news, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So thanks for watching, as always. And the first thing I'll tell you, an unbelievable story. As you may remember, probably almost a year and a half to 2 years ago, really, we had somebody working for us who didn't quite work out. It's okay. It happens. And was working for us in a web design and database programming sort of capacity. And when that person was dismissed from the company, or as we say, promoted to customer, well, they weren't real happy with us and with me. So that person actually used our company checking account to buy $4,000 or $5,000 worth of airline tickets on United Airlines and also deleted our database. Unfortunately, that person did it from home. And when Chase Bank was in the process of giving us our $4,000 or $5,000 back, they requested that I do a police report, which I did. And I really didn't intend on pursuing it, and I was going to forgive and let bygones be bygones. But what the Akron Police Department did is they forwarded the information to the FBI's Cyber Crimes Unit, and I was contacted by an FBI agent because they actually talked to our IT person, Luke, who runs our server, and discovered that when this person deleted our database, they did it from home, and there's a perfect IP address trail right to that person. And so, unfortunately, very low-hanging fruit and a very easy case for the FBI to pursue. They called me a couple of days ago and asked me if I'd come down to the federal building and talk to them again. And quite honestly, I said, you know what? I had forgotten about it. We've repaired our database. We paid all the costs. I'd rather just, the guy's 25, graduating from college now. He's going to have a felony on his record because they're prepared to indict him on these charges. And I actually suggested that we just let it go. And they said, Mr. Mosier, we're going to pursue this with or without you. So there's where that case is, and absolutely unbelievable. And I feel pretty bad for this young man who really only got fired from our operation for missing appointments and not showing up on time, and was doing some pretty good work but just couldn't get here, and it just wasn't going to work out, and that's fine. But made a pretty poor decision after he was terminated to do some damage to our checking account and to our server, and that's going to land him in a whole heap of trouble, potentially even some jail time. So my heart goes out to him because he's 25 and his life has changed forever based on one very poor decision. What a story. I know. Another fun story I'm going to tell you, and this is for everybody running our business operations around the country and around the world. Or can we claim to be an international company? I don't know. We should open an office in Toronto so we can claim to be an international company. But you may remember we had an incident where, and I don't know if it's an incident, but one of our student producers producing a segment for OpenM here in Akron, and they reached out with my help to a production company that had shot some video for OpenM last summer. And because the CEO of OpenM was going to be interviewed here on Akron Buzz, we asked if they would provide the footage. And they said that they were going to charge us $150. They were going to charge Akron Buzz interns $150. Even though we were providing the hard drive and shipping it to them, a $150 fee to transfer the footage onto the drive and ship it back in a prepaid shipping UPS envelope package that we had provided, still a $150 fee. So at one point I talked to the business owner, and he said, you know what, I understand, I'll do it for $75. And I said, fine, just send us the footage. We want to include it in this segment on Akron Buzz. So 2 weeks after we got the footage, this business owner, the company up in Cleveland, calls me at the office and yells at our staff and yells at me about where is his $75, which I intended to pay out of the Akron Buzz Fund, which quite honestly we did. But we didn't pay it fast enough for him apparently, because he actually called OpenM and yelled at their finance department. And I got a call from the nice people at OpenM who I know personally and are all wonderful people and said, Dan, we got a situation. The person from our production company we used last year to shoot a little video for us is very angry. Apparently he called OpenM and said, I'm going to send the bill for $75 to you and hold you accountable if I can't get paid from Akron Community Television. And so he went on a rampage. And the only reason I tell this story in this company broadcast is because a couple of problems here. First of all, if in our collection efforts, certainly at any given time we could be owed thousands or tens of thousands of dollars from a customer. That's possible in our business, certainly, especially at our operation. But to collect $75 or to make a angry or belligerent phone call to a customer or to somebody in the industry over $75 is inappropriate. And the reason I tell this story is certainly in our business, for any of those who are in a position to collect money or conduct the business of our business, please never call a customer, or in a case where we're doing work for an agency, and we would never call their customers and demand money. Or call anyone ever over $75. Certainly that is a practice we would never want to be involved in. And one big issue is that it sends the message to all those in the phone chain or all those being yelled at that your business is in trouble and that you really need the $75. I've got a lot going on. You have a lot going on. Everybody working to run one of our operations has a lot going on. I couldn't imagine finding the time to call somebody and say, where is my $75? I couldn't imagine. That's a whole nother, how about that one? That's a whole unbelievable story. Let me move on to the next one. Our new van. I am so happy with this van. It has generated quite a few, just in the first couple weeks it's been on the road, it's generated quite a few leads. So the van looks great. We've gotten a lot of compliments on it, even here in the building. People see in the parking lot. I went to lunch the other day over at the Mexican across the street, and I see Freddie Salem from the Tangerine. He says, Mosier, how you doing? He goes, I just went into the Acme. I love your new van sitting out in the parking lot. He goes, you guys look like you're doing pretty well. It sends the message that our business is doing well. And with our phone number right on the back of it, certainly that helps us a lot. And I will remind everyone driving that our phone number is right on the back of it. So keep that in mind as you're changing lanes. Please use your signal and make sure that you're being polite on the road. And remember, if you're in the left lane, you need to be doing 80 and passing. If you're not passing, folks, stay to the right. Very important, especially on the trip from Cleveland to Columbus. If you're not doing 80 miles an hour, 75, 80, and you're not passing folks on the freeway, get out of the left lane. Very important to remember. You don't want to be a left lane loser, as we call them when we're tailgating them, asking them, please get out of our way. Finally, we'll leave you today with an idea for Jumpstart Studios. We have a black magic switcher for the Akron Buzz Studio. We have one for the West Akron Studio in the Joanne Room at 1815. The Joanne Room has been completely reconfigured. The Joanne set is now in my garage. So if anybody from Joanne comes back, or even at MacTech, and they want to use that set, I'm more than happy to have them in my garage. We can do the shoot there. What I will share with you is that the black magic switcher for Akron Buzz can be used for broadcast, certainly, but we have a black magic switcher for the Joanne Room. And we're going to get into having a black magic switcher even set up in Columbus so that we can get into the business of creating YouTube videos that are shot QVC style with a host and a guest. And the guest is probably somebody that's a product expert for the product that this YouTube video is about. And the host could be professional talent, or it could be somebody else from that same company that pitches the questions. And this is the format I want to follow. And I truly believe that our studios can generate additional revenue by being the ultimate location for doing a QVC or YouTube selling style video. So we're going to have black magic switchers and 3 camera setups in every studio. And somebody could literally walk in, you turn on some lights, you set them in front of the camera, you put the product in place, and we could generate some revenue and a lot of fun, really, and a lot of work for everybody involved. Very little post-production work is what we'd like to see initially if we're doing things and we're promising folks great YouTube videos on a tight budget in the Jumpstart Studios. That's the idea. But no harm in upselling. The upsell involves the client says, hey, can we come and shoot some pictures and video on location to add to this video, to support it? Absolutely. Or they might say, hey, could we add an open and a close and additional graphics, or maybe do something to spice it up in post-production? Again, an upsell, additional charges. So maybe there's a studio fee that if somebody wanted to come in and record in one of our studios in Akron or Columbus or wherever, and they sit down and they do a great segment and they show the product and they talk about it and it's 3 minutes and it's on YouTube with very little graphics, that could probably work for a lot of companies to do a very inexpensive regular YouTube broadcast. But if they really want to spice it up and we could turn it into a bigger budget project, they're welcome to do that too. I like the idea of the upsell. There's certainly no pressure because I like the idea of folks coming in and at a pretty reasonable fee, pretty reasonable rate, they have a nice YouTube video. So I'm very interested in getting these black magic switchers set up. I know Columbus is busy, very busy and understaffed right now, but what I would like to do is get that workstation put in, get that black magic switcher set up, and get all 3 cameras and lights and everything in place with that monitor in the background, and the monitor set up on the wall, the idea being that each client that comes in, you simply put their logo on the screen, and you're ready to custom-made studio for each client. You put their company logo or some graphic on the screen that represents what they do or what they're selling, and they have an instant studio. So that's just a couple of thoughts, a couple of stories, a couple ideas. Our business, I'll wrap it up with some financials. As I said in the last one, maybe last broadcast, we did our taxes. Well, of course, April 14th, I went over and shipped them all out with checks as needed, and all of our taxes are paid. And other than the Ford Motor Credit loan for the new van, our company is debt-free. Our rent's paid everywhere. Certainly, our business is in great shape. Our balance sheet is healthy. And in terms of cameras and computers and everything else we have, our company is debt-free. Again, with the exception of the van, but Ford Motor Credit loves us, and I can walk into a dealership and say, hey, I'll take a van, and on a signature, we've got a new van. So life is good because, well, quite honestly, we have a pretty extensive line of credit. We have cash in the bank. Again, our balance sheet very healthy. We're in great shape and looking to grow. Certainly, I'll leave you with this. We are looking for ways to find new clients and new projects. I like the Jumpstart Studios idea of bringing folks in the door, especially small businesses and entrepreneurs. I love the entrepreneurs, love the small businesses. Let's get them in. There's no reason a small business can't be doing YouTube selling and YouTube videos. And certainly, we love the big businesses and the agencies and all the big projects as well. But that's all I have for today. And would you help us out and send us a little note to say, what should the code be for today? The code for today should be Eurovan, and that's the code that you watched it all the way through. And send me a text that says Eurovan. Maybe Eurovan isn't a good one. What's another? The Shagwagon. Send me a text that says Shagwagon, and I know that you watched this all the way to the end. All right? Thank you very much. And some of them are probably onto us. They're probably just fast forwarding all the way to the end and seeing the ridiculous banter and then pretending like they watched the whole thing. And all right, that's all I have. Let's make it look like an official close by doing this. The paper.